Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is retesting this previous important resistance to potentially further confirm the breakout to the upside, which is also acting as a leading indicator for Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is also now retesting this previous resistance, which I'll talk about later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin has confirmed a 4-day candle close above $31,000, which is, of course, this important resistance at around 30.5k if you're looking at the candle closes, or if you're looking at the April high, it's sitting closer towards 31,000. But with that being said, even though we've seen a 4-day candle close above $31,000, it's only slightly above $31,000. And also, we are still yet to see a weekly candle close above $31,000. And so, once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, we still ideally need to see a weekly candle close above 31k in order to actually confirm the breakout above this significant resistance, considering how significant this resistance is. So, at least as of right now, at the time of recording this video, yes, of course, we have seen the price of Bitcoin trade above 31,000, but we still ideally need to see some more confirmation to actually further confirm this breakout to the upside. But with that being said, obviously the price of Bitcoin is still currently within a larger multi-month long bullish trend, as I've been saying since the very beginning of this year. And now, if you're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, once again, the price of Bitcoin is basically on the edge of breaking out to the upside above this important resistance. Obviously, we have seen a daily candle close now above 31,000, and so technically that is one confirmation signal for the breakout above 31k on the daily time frame. But like I just said earlier, ideally we need to see that weekly candle close. And also right now in the shorter term, we are seeing a small retest of that 31k level, so we also need to see that level hold as support before continuing further to the upside. And as for the daily Bitcoin price oscillators, first of all, the daily Bitcoin MACD is still showing relatively low momentum in the short term, which basically means just in the shorter term, we're actually still looking relatively neutral, not overly bullish or overly bearish in the imminent short term. But once again, this is still occurring within a larger bullish trend. And as for the daily Bitcoin RSI, once again, as I've said over the last 1 to 2 weeks, of course, close to 2 weeks ago now, the RSI did reach into overbought territories, telling us that we're due to see a bit of a cool off or a bit of a pause from this bullish move, which is exactly what we've seen since then over the last 1.5 weeks or so. But obviously, as of right now, the daily Bitcoin RSI is still currently sitting very close to overbought territories, which technically means we have somewhat limited room to the upside, at least in the shorter term. And now, with that being said, the RSI by default goes off the previous 14 candle closes. So on the daily time frame, that's the last 14 days. And if you're looking at 14 days ago, that was right around here in the middle of this major pump to the upside. So basically, in around 2 to 3 days from now, this pump to the upside will no longer be included in the RSI, in the new RSI input data, which basically means if we continue somewhat sideways here in the shorter term over the next 2 days or so, then we should start seeing a bit more of a reset occur in the daily RSI. But obviously, if in those next 2 days we continue slowly heading higher, then obviously that can help to keep the RSI relatively high. So obviously it would be ideal for Bitcoin to still play out a bit of a short-term cool-off and not really play out a massive breakout to the upside in the next 1 to 2 days in order to help reset the RSI a little bit further. And then potentially after we have some more room to the upside, we could potentially see that major breakout later on. Because otherwise, if we see a breakout straight away from here, then basically we're already very close to overbought territories. So the RSI would quickly head back into overbought territories, meaning that potential breakout wouldn't necessarily last as long compared to if we went from oversold territories. For example, back here, we could see a much larger move to the upside because we had much more room to the upside. And a perfect example of that is these two previous highs. Of course, in this first example, we saw saw overbought territories in the daily Bitcoin RSI. And then after that, we saw a bit of a short-term cool-off in the price of Bitcoin over the next few weeks. But overall, in that time frame, after those overbought territories, we didn't really see any major pullback or even a lot of sideways price action. We actually saw the price slowly drift to the upside, which basically meant the RSI couldn't really reset that far. Of course, we did see a bit of a reset, but considering the fact that the daily Bitcoin RSI still stayed relatively close to overbought territories, that simply meant we had limited room to the upside for this next bullish movement, which obviously, as you can see here, we did end up seeing another bullish move, but it was short-lived. It only lasted for a few days, and it wasn't really a massive move because the RSI quickly re-entered into overbought territories, meaning we had limited room to the upside in the short term. And then obviously we saw a much larger reset in the RSI over the next few months, and that brings us to where we are right now. We were able to see that much larger move to the upside compared to that smaller move just here because we did have more room to the upside in the RSI. And so once again, this is why it is technically ideal for the bulls out there, at least, for the price to basically continue this short-term cool-off for at least the next few days in order to help reset the RSI further, because otherwise, if we break out right now, we might not necessarily see as big of a breakout compared to if we actually play out a bit more of a short-term cool-off before a breakout later on. But anyway, with that being said, if you're taking a look at the next major price target, if we confirm a breakout above 31,000 with ideally a weekly candle close above that level, then in that case, the next major resistance would be sitting at around 37,000, more specifically around 37.2k. And the reason behind that is because that is simply the next important Fibonacci extension, which is the 3618 level, once again sitting at around 37,000 approximately. And if you want to know more about what is happening here with these Fibonacci extensions, then check out my last video on the channel to find out more. But anyway, if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 3-hour Bitcoin chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is basically retesting this previous short-term area of resistance, which is sitting in between around 30.8k to 31k. And so technically speaking, because we have seen a short-term breakout above this resistance, this should be now acting as new support. And if that's the case, if we actually confirm this area as support with a successful bounce from this area, then obviously that would be a short-term bullish signal. And obviously that would help to further confirm that breakout above 31,000. And now, with that being said, of course, we do also have a bit of short-term resistance just here, sitting at around 31.3k approximately, based on these previous candle closes, this candle high, and these candle closes just here. So just watch out for that 31.3k level, just in the short term at least, acting as resistance. And as for support, once again, we could find support in this area in between around 30.8k to 31k. But if we see a confirmed break back below 30.8k, then in that case, we would simply be breaking back into this choppy sideways price range. And in that case, the important area of support would be this area sitting in between around 29.9k to around 30.1k. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is still in a larger multi-month long bullish trend. And obviously, these levels of support have not changed over the last one day. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know where this area of support is coming into play, then check out my last video on the channel. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, first of all, the daily Ethereum RSI is currently looking more bullish than bearish, as I said in my last video, while the daily Ethereum MACD is still, of course, showing bullish momentum, at least for now. And now, if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, we're currently seeing a perfect retest of this previous important resistance, which is the golden pocket sitting in between around 1930 to around 1940 approximately. And once again, as I said in my last video on the channel, we've already seen an initial breakout to the upside, which has now been confirmed with candle closes. But considering the fact that the price is coming in for a retest of this area. Of course, it is important for the price to hold above this area and now confirm it as support with a successful bounce. Because basically, if we see a successful bounce now from this golden pocket, confirming it as new support, obviously that would be a short-term bullish signal, further confirming the breakout to the upsides. Whereas if we see a confirmed break back below around 1930, then in that case, that would actually invalidate this breakout to the upsides. And so obviously a confirmed break back below 1930 would be a short-term bearish signal. But at least for now, while the price of ETH is holding above this golden pocket, obviously we're still looking more bullish than bearish. And so the next important resistance to pay attention to is, of course, the next Fibonacci level of resistance sitting at around 2020, which is also exactly where this previous high came into play, confirming this area as resistance. And in a more bullish scenario, if we see a confirmed breakout above 2020, then in that case, next I'll be targeting these previous highs that we saw back in April, sitting just above 2.1k. And now if you're looking at the 8-hour Ethereum price oscillators, first of all, the 8-hour Ethereum MACD is actually showing relatively low momentum, but with that being said, it's still looking more bullish than bearish. And if you're looking at the 8-hour Ethereum RSI, this is forming a possible bearish divergence because obviously we're seeing higher highs in the price in the candle closes while also seeing lower highs in the RSI. But at least for now, we don't really have enough confirmation to actually confirm this possible bearish divergence because, for example, we would ideally need to see, first of all, a confirmed break back below 1930 in order to actually invalidate this breakout to the upsides, because otherwise, if we do not invalidate this breakout and the price actually holds above around 1930 to 1940 and we simply continue higher, then in that case, obviously that can help to pull the RSI further to the upside as the price continues further to the upside, which obviously could eliminate any divergence if the RSI continues up towards this previous high. So this is why we'll need to see some more confirmation signals to actually potentially confirm this bearish divergence. So at least for now, this possible bearish divergence is not currently active. So basically, overall, while the price is still showing these bullish signals like holding above important resistance, we're still looking more bullish than bearish. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money in crypto, no matter if the price is bullish or bearish, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make a lot of money very easily in a sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.